No crib for his bed. The little Lord Jesus
Is this from
laid down his sweet head.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight. We're happy tonight.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Yes, that's right, folks. It's Christmas in Sunnydale, so what better way than to celebrate with a brand new episode of All Bronze, No Brains, your favorite Buffy podcast's favorite Buffy podcast. I am your resident Buffy geek, Tony, and I'm joined as usual by my best friend, the wonderful human male. He's sunshine and he's grace. He's Miss United States. It's David. Say hi, David.
Hi, David! Today, we are deep diving into the surprising dark, actually genuinely surprisingly dark, Season 3 episode, Amends, which aired on December 15th, 1998, and was written and directed by Joss Whedon. And did you know, Tiddly Bones, are you proud that I got Joss and not Josh there?
Yeah,
with
I
my
am.
stupid lisp. I was practicing before we came on. But did you know, this is the only Christmas-themed episode in the whole of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series?
Yes, I did know that, but only because I wrote this intro, David. But this is episode 43 of the podcast. And before we kick off, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like what we're doing, and hit that little icon of the bell to be notified every time we put up a new episode. And if you're on Spotify, don't forget to leave us a lovely 5-star review so we can continue to spread the Buffy cheer all year long. Now, before we get started, we have some important questions for the audience.
Have you decked your halls with boughs of holly?
Mommy! Have you been caught kissing Santa Claus?
All you want for Christmas is me.
Right, let's get into it before it's New Year's.
Okay, folks. So, before I even get into this episode, Tony Webster,
Not the fucking government name. Get the fuck out of here.
I would like to talk about the recap, which doesn't happen very often. We do get little recaps now and again. I quite appreciate that we had a little recap on this one because I actually watched it and thought it was really cool. Hang on, I'm going to give you a second.
Yes, I wrote talk about the epic previously on.
I know, it's really like OTT, isn't it?
The music was really like, it was dramatic and it hit like all the bass points. It actually made me go back to the last few to watch to see if there was a good previously on. There were previously ons, but they just weren't up to that level. One of my favorite things, actually, when I was watching it, I was thinking we should put that previously on just in as part of
Yeah.
our episode, because it was just pretty epic.
Perfect.
The curse. If Angel achieved true happiness, even just a moment, he would lose his soul.
Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
This is it. Curse.
What are you saying?
I may be able to work this. Willow cured him, and somehow he came back.
You must have known it was wrong seeing Angel, or you wouldn't have hidden it from all of us.
I just wanted to wait.
For Angel to go psycho again the next time you give him a happy?
But you know what's quite funny, when you're a big Buffy geek like me, I have a favorite Buffy previously on.
Okay, have we done it yet?
No, it's season 7.
Is it previous on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and it takes you 40 minutes to get through it because it's just the whole of the 7 seasons up to that point?
Not really, but it is an episode where it references some stuff from season 3. So it's just, the music is really good and it's edited really well.
Post recap, we open with title cards, Dublin, 1838. And my friends, I have a secret. That's not Dublin. Looks like more of London. And there'll be someone from London going like, no, it doesn't. And we see a fella running through, who later on we find out it's called Daniel. He's running through the streets, frightened and scared, and Angel grips him from an alleyway. And I think it's very interesting. We immediately hear, and I'm not going to get into it too much because there's no point, but some of the most atrocious Irish accents I've ever heard since Titanic.
Oh, forget it, Boyle. You just like have angels fly out of your arse get next to the likes of her.
I'm not even talking about Angel.
I thought Daniels was good.
Daniel, in the first part, I have a little Daniel tally of where's Daniel from, because in the opening credits, Daniel's from Eastern Europe. He's like, He sounds Eastern Europe. If you go back, he sounds like he could be someone who's emigrated from Eastern Europe. And I was like, oh, and I genuinely wrote this. Like, is Daniel from Eastern Europe? Question mark. I was like, because he does. I was like, oh, he must be like an immigrant or something. And then we never hear any more from him. I was like, oh, that was an interesting choice. Obviously, Angel's from Yorkshire.
I actually thought Angel sounded quite like more Northern Irish.
Well, it's nearly worse than your Irish accent.
Yeah, that's true. I can't even do one.
That's exactly the same.
Oh, Daniel,
The fact that you're from Ireland and can't do an Irish accent is the
you're a
best
man.
thing.
And you've got no money and you've got no dirdle.
Hey, you new dildo?
Dirdle. That's not what you do the Irish, dirdle.
That's
Situation.
Us. That's Northern Irish. But
That's what Angel was sounding like. Daniel, where'd you put your money there?
it's that bad American Irish accent. But whatever. It's Christmas.
Love it.
Who gives a fuck, Tony? Do you know why?
Yeah.
It's Christmas! And then we see Angel grip him and bite him and eat him. And then cut to sexy, gorgeous, beautiful Angel riding in bed, shitting himself when he wakes up. Because we've been in one of Angel's memory dreams.
He's obviously popped a massive bone.
So we haven't actually seen, we don't really get that much history from Angel. I know we do a little bit earlier on in season 1, maybe about
The end of season 2, when we have the flashback.
Yeah. And so it's actually quite appreciate getting a little bit more detail of Angel. And I think it's pretty clear that we're setting up for a sideways shift to another TV series somewhere, maybe along the lines.
Yeah.
You get that feeling anyway that they're like,
This is Angel episode 0.
I love that.
That actually came from Leia, who we just had on our bonus episode. She's going to be coming on season 3 and later on in the season with us too. But she is one half of the podcast Investigating Angel. So we were talking about this episode a little bit, and because I was telling her I don't really like this episode. I think I've only seen it a couple of times, and now I'm completely changed. I have been changed for good.
I was like, and I was like, oh my god, this is it, mate. What a fucking waste of time. But we'll get there. That's just my little take. And folks, as it always happens when I give a little my take up top, it will fucking change by the time I get to the end, because Tony will tell me why I'm wrong.
Not this time.
Because the Angel's woken up, he needs to get out of the house. And we see him walking through, and I genuinely thought he was in LA, because it reminded me of the opening of season 3 when Buffy's in LA. But the only reason why I thought it was LA is because there's people.
There's people actually doing people
There's
things.
loads and loads of people. And I was like, oh, they must be in LA. And then
They've saved their budget all season for the extras for this episode.
no, they must have. I genuinely have never seen this many people in Sunnydale. And then he bumps into Buffy, which is something that never happens in this TV show, where people just randomly bump into people. I took a second because it's going to be like, oh yeah, of course he fucking bumped into him. And I was like, yeah, sometimes you bump into people.
Yeah.
I kind of actually thought, oh yeah, he just bumped into her from nowhere for no reason. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I was going to take the piss, but I thought, no.
Yeah.
And then, as we see, he bumps into Buffy, which seems so normal life, like a normal thing you do to bump into an ex, which is, yeah, the fear that everyone has when they go through a breakup.
I've never bumped into an ex.
Have you not?
No.
I have, and I always, when I look, horrendous.
Mine always live in different countries though, so I'm like,
And some of them didn't even consider your boyfriend in the first place. Buff is when we say actually you have 2 internet boyfriends now.
no, I've only got one. Sean O'Boyle's been downgraded.
Oh,
He knows why.
oh, what? Can I know why?
I'll tell you why and I'll beep it out. Because he loves from like, oh me, I love the crabs in a bucket list.
You fucking bastard, Sean.
You're dumped, Sean.
Do you know what, Sean? You're now being relegated to England. You're English now. English
Yeah.
Sean, we're going to call you.
I thought Angel sounded like Sean.
It's so funny because anyone that's not Irish would be like, wow, they really hate Sean. And Sean's like, God, they really like me. They're ripping the hole out of me right
Yeah.
now. And then they'd be like, oh, I wish
I
Tony
wish.
ripped my hole. We see that Buffy has a wee fringe that she's obviously cut herself because it's too short, but she's trying to commit to it, which I love. And I never noticed fashion things, but I was like, oh, she's tried to cut herself with friends, and then she kept getting it wrong, and then getting wrong, and she's ended up with this wee fucking smicky fucking flick at the top, which I love.
The real big bad of season 3.
I love their interaction here. It was genuinely awkward. Again, always, as we talk about this every week, Angel and Buffy, it's just always
Yeah.
fucking great. When they're in
Believable.
believable. And he's such a good actor to go, and even within this episode, jumping between Angelus and Angel. So I'm gonna refer to Angelus when I'm in the Flash and Angel when I'm not. And I love that you get this completely different character that's frightened and scared and intimidated, or whatever, not intimidated, but scared. And then you have Angelus being Angelus. So Angel's looking quite scared of Buffy. As Buffy steps out of the way, we see Daniel, the ghost of Daniel from the dream, standing there.
What is your ghost doing there, Daniel?
Hi, what's your ghost doing there, Daniel? I'm from Dublin. That's what Sean O'Boyle sounds like. I don't know why I'm jumping on this. Sorry, Shawnee. Hi, Shawnee.
Sean is like so desperately wants you to like him. He always thinks that you hate him, but in a comic way. Because you're always like, fuck off, Sean.
Well, I
But no, you
actually
do.
would like him more if he
Didn't break my heart. Showed cool on the internet.
broke your hole rather than your heart.
Why are you always such a nasty fat bummer?
And then after which we see the wee ghost and Angel looking really scared and Buffy going, what the fuck's wrong with Angel? Cut to the credits.
Yeah.
Love this little bit.
I love it. I love the whole concept of this episode, like Muppets Christmas Carol. I like the way they mix the score with the carol singers singing, and it really builds up this nice sense of like tension, and it's quite scary. It's a little bit scary. It's a bit like a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said horror, and it just reminded me of I was listening to Becoming Buffy podcast recently, and they were talking about horror, but because they're American, they were like, horror is like my favorite genre. I just love horror. They're like teenage horror. I love that we get some man-on-man action for a wee change with like Angel sucking Daniel. It's not often we
What?
see Angel take men.
Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's like just at least for a while because he hasn't fed on people. But like, I love that they're setting up this idea of like, because Daniel says this stuff, we don't get the whole backstory. Like, oh, I know I owe you money or whatever. We get this idea that Angel maybe is like this, like
Crime lord or
he lends
something?
people money or there's some sort of like crime. Because then later on, when he's with that little maid woman, he says something about, oh, sure, the mistress is going to be trying to get the pastor like into bed or whatever. And I just imagine Angel is just like this real housewife of like Beverly Hills, just like keeping everyone's secrets. And he's just like, he's being such a gay diva bitch. That's what I just love about it. And he's got a big gay mustache. Just thought it was so great. This is the first time, I wasn't sure if you keep count to this, the first time where they mention how sunny and warm it is in California and how there's no sign of, there's no sign of cold.
Oh my God, Tony. Chekhov's
Weather report. And yeah, like you'd mentioned, we meet the real big bad of season 3, Buffy's Fringe. And this has become a bit of a meta moment because Sarah Michelle Gellar in an interview, and I'll put the video in here, she's like, every time my daughter asks me for bangs, I show her this picture.
Every time my daughter asks me to cut bangs, I show her this picture. I'm like, are you sure? To show you and cut bangs? Really? Really? It's awful.
Oh, wait, did I actually catch something that was like
You
a meta
got
thing?
something that's culturally relevant?
Oh!
And yeah, then we've got the credits.
That's how you know how bad that haircut is that even this fucking Straggart noticed it.
Straggart, a derogatory slur towards straight people used by
Well, it had obviously been bleached to fuck. You remember she had that big massive blonde part just at the front since like the premiere. It's obviously broke off and they've had to... I've noticed it in the last few episodes. It's gradually been getting like shorter and shorter. But thank God this is the only episode these bangs are in. So
Okay. So, well, I'm a bit chuffed with Jackson.
you're gay.
So as you're saying, we cut to the credits. We come back after the credits and we're at the school with the Scoobs. And they're talking about Angel's behaviour. Sander is being himself. But we hear Sander still being a cunt about Angel. And even Buffy, even the way she delivers that line, it's like, Sander, stop. Like, it isn't like, Sander, stop. It's like, are you still... Do you not hear yourself, you fucking bellend?
She says, enough, okay?
Yeah, and it's like, thank you, Buffy. Thank you for speaking for the fucking audience. And the thing that I stopped here is that there is zero character development for Xander. Zero character development. You'd think, considering that he cheated, lied to his friend, and made her kill her boyfriend, even though there was a chance to save his life, using his female best mate as a wank sock. No, he's still a fucking prick to Buffy. And even in this fucking episode, he's being a creep to Buffy. And it fucking blows my mind. I'll get to it when I get to it. And when you see it and you notice it, you'll be like, oh yeah. The scene moves forward and they're talking about Christmas. Willow reminds us that she's Jewish. But one of my favourite things that she says here is she doesn't worship Santa, which I thought was a great dig at the Christians. And they go and sit near Cordelia, and we get our one and only chance of seeing Cordelia in this. And she is, and it's not very often I do this, but she is looking fine as hell in this bit.
A bit like a secretary, like a 40-year-old secretary, but whatever.
But
a hot 40-year-old secretary.
Really, really, really attractive one, yeah.
I'm glad that she went back to like office wear rather than like dominatrix wear.
Xander sort of notices her, and then he says, oh, I'm going to sleep outside for Christmas, and it's just because I like to be with nature, whatever it is he says. And then Cordelia absolutely shits all over him. He's like,
I thought you slept outside to avoid your family's drunken Christmas fights.
Yes, and that was a confidence I was hoping you would share with everyone.
Good on you, girl. Good on you. Her name's not on you, it's Cordelia. We've got a bit more chit-chat back and forth, and then Oz rocks up. And it's just as Willow says that her theme for Christmas is forgiveness. And I love whenever Oz enters, that Xander squirms like fuck, moves away from Willow, and looks a bit intimidated. And then when you cut to Oz looking at him, you can see why. Oz giving him the in that very subtle way of
like Short King Tank.
But what's his name again? Fucking thing, Seth Green, in that really subtle way that Seth Green can, where he can go big in his character, but he does everything so subtly, like just the look to the side and then back again was amazing. I think I just did it justice there, and it was just so cold and scary and really intimidating.
He's a real energy actor. He like acts with his energy.
Body is
I'd like Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like I think they're in the same kind of like they're both very like
tense and little girl.
Little girl.
I kind of hate that when they bring up the credits keep rolling after the credits and they spoil the guest star.
Who?
They spoil the guest star because it says Robbie Lamort as Jenny Calendar. I'm like, why?
Oh yeah.
Why? Imagine if you didn't know that was going to happen, then you just saw her appear behind Giles in that moment and you had no idea she was going to be in it.
I didn't know she was going to be in it. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice it. So it was a surprise for me.
You're the f***ing liar! You're the f***ing liar! No, you're not!
I loved Buffy saying her little like Xander enough, okay? And I like that he's a bit like puts his hands up. You're saying about Xander not having any character development, but I feel purposely they were making him be a dick because they have that moment of what Joss Whedon thinks is a redemption later on in the episode.
Actually, is that Jen? Well, obviously nothing else happens, and that's it. And then henceforth, this is him like, I love Angel now.
Yeah, I think him being like, I'll help. I know I haven't been helpful before, but I'll help now because. But that's the thing. He does it selfishly, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. I loved Willow's little like delivery of her. Not everyone worships Santa. It was like very nuanced. Like she's raging that like everyone keep talking about like Christmas and not Judaism. I was distracted by Buffy carrying a big brown paper bag, and I was like, is this her lunch? She's carrying the biggest lunch ever, but it's because there's a holiday food drive at the school. And I just like that this was a non-scene. They just show her putting stuff like from the bag like into the food drive, and I thought that was a nice way to like subtle messaging, for the audience.
I'd be curious to know if that was in the script, if that was a script choice or whether that was a director choice. Well, he is a director, so it's the same script and direct choice, the same. I think Joss Whedon is very good at he creates those little real world shooter moments by adding those little details of like just people doing things that they wouldn't normally do at certain times. I quite like that. Look, we can caveat this. I'm going to have a moment here as well to say I do have the ability to separate art from artists. And if you can't, then don't listen to anything by anybody who wrote anything in the 70s and before, because they probably were, it's like, anyway, I'm going to compliment him on his writing and his directorial choices because he's a very obviously talented writer and director.
Yeah, it's like J.K. Rowling. My favorite thing to do is to Harry Potter's and marks him so she doesn't get any money from it.
That's an. So glad you admitted this on camera.
I'll just beep it. And then the last thing I've got to say about this is just, well, I did have a joke to make about Buffy and the brown bag, but it won't flow anymore. I was like, we see her putting stuff into it, or is she taking stuff out? Trump. What you're saying about Cordelia, Buffy kind of, I love Buffy's little quip when she says, well, she certainly has reverted to form.
And I like that Willow's also like, I mean, just gone through a bit. Like
she deserves it. Yeah, Willow's the only one who still recognizes that there's recompense to be had. Is that the right choice of words?
Recompense is unnecessary, Commander.
Yeah, so this is where we move on to Willow and Oz sitting separate. And this is probably up there with one of my favorite scenes this whole episode.
One of my favorite scenes ever.
Really?
Oh, it's just so real.
Yeah. It's so well written. It has got nothing to do with vampires, with fucking Santa Claus, or because she's Jewish, or like any of the new big bad, the first and all that stuff. It's all just about teenage angst, relationship, and forgiveness. So I just said that Oz is amazing here. He sets it up saying like what she did was wrong, but he misses her and he loves her.
The vulnerability of it is just beautiful.
But it's also like, how is he able to write that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've literally wrote something like that as well.
He is forgiven. He recognizes the history between even Xander, the empathy to recognize that there is history between Xander and Willow, just as growing up between people. And I just wrote, oh my God, I love Willow and Oz. And even as like, even asking if they could hug now, which is such a Willow thing to do, was just so romantic. I found it so romantic or something and really sweet.
And the way he hugs is just so, the way his hand is like, I want
at the back of her head.
I want him to hug me like that.
Yeah. And then they have a wee hug and it's lovely. It's just so subtle. It's so nuanced. It's so like, has room to breathe. There's no like, I just thought it was a very good scene.
Yeah, loved it.
So we move on to the next scene. We have Buffy and Joyce buying Christmas trees.
Can I just say one thing before we get into this scene? How much do you just love Joyce now?
I adore this woman. She's just, even just as a character in the show, is amazing. She's so much depth to her now than what she was in season 1 and 2.
And I keep thinking it's because the show is from Buffy's perspective and Joyce knows that now we get so much more of Joyce because she's part of the world.
Okay, Little Mermaid.
I want to be where my daughter is.
No,
in
she
Angel's
doesn't.
bed. Licking Pat's big pussy.
I always forget about Pity Pat. So Joyce begins chatting to Buffy about inviting Faith and guilt trips her. Jen is just going to be alone this Christmas. Sorry, no, that was a sinker.
Every time a song comes into your head, we should sing it.
Okay. It'll be good. Anyway.
That was really beautiful.
And then Buffy's all like, okay, well, I'll invite her. And she'd have said to Giles as well, and immediately shuts that shit down. No. And I laughed. Actually, genuinely, this episode, I laughed 4 times out loud. I'm on my own, and I just laughed out loud. It made me laugh. Her delivery. This episode, folks, is going to be 6 hours long, and it's mostly going to be us singing.
Yeah, sponsored by your local Stim.
What about Giles? I mean, he doesn't have
No, I'm sure he's fine.
We could at least ask him and see.
He doesn't want to spend Christmas Eve with a bunch of girls. Let's split up.
And turns and fucks off, which made me laugh.
She's like, oh, let's split up. She's like so raging.
Which I loved getting teen angsty Joyce again from that episode coming back. And does Buffy not know then?
No. Well, no, she doesn't know anything.
Oh, right. Okay.
For now.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, that's going to be fun when she finds out.
Oh, it's really good.
Are we soon?
No, it's like episode 18 or 19.
But it's this season?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Buffy then spots a load of dead trees.
Chekhov's dead tree.
That the dude says just up and died for no reason. Which then cuts to loads of people chanting around bones and people with their eyes all burnt out with all these scratches and stuff in it. It's all like really weird, like edit and stuff. It's kind of odd.
I thought we were describing a chem session at my old London flat. Oh.
And then this week's Angel another dream question mark is what I said. I thought the people underground were a dream.
I think Angel was dreaming that. That's what I wrote.
Oh, really?
As well. Yeah, because he wakes up in bed right after that, and then because later on Buffy sees them in the dream too.
Oh, right. So yeah, he is dreaming about them
Yeah.
then.
Well
Alright,
done.
cool.
Well done for having eyes. I love the part. I also love the Angel's right nipple was out because I was just like, flick it and get it,
He
girlfriend.
is looking so
good.
I would love to look like that.
I was like, just call me an espresso machine because I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry, lads. He can't drop his breath. I did not expect that. I need to. I did not expect came from fucking nowhere, and it's the sound of it. It's exactly like an expression. I've never put those two together as a sexual sound.
Neither have I. It just came into my head right there.
Did you just make that up there now?
I made that up on the spot.
2 hours later.
Oh, my good golly gosh. I have no idea if any of that's going in, but Tony just made me laugh harder than I've ever laughed in my entire life at him. I was actually genuinely go to the Patreon because I don't know if you're putting it in, but that was fucking.
I will put it in.
That is the funniest thing you've ever said. Oh.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
We cut the next scene and we see Faith, as always, bashing a TV. Did you know that is actually, in those old televisions, is a technique to fix something? Because it's called a manual something dislodgement or something, but like dust can sit or something, and doing that actually fixes some things.
Wow. It's interesting.
Doesn't work on digital things.
Or children.
Buffy's there, and she's there to invite her to her house for Christmas, and there is just this weird little tension between Buffy and Faith. Faith says she's got a really class rager party to go to on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, Jackie.
Yeah, Becky.
Yeah, Becky. There's not really much to this. It's just a little bit of, we see that Faith does obviously have a Christmas spirit in there because there's some lights around the room.
Yeah.
And she's trying to act like she doesn't, but Buffy notices, which I love that little, like, Buffy knows a little bit more about Faith than Faith likes. And
I like the subtlety of perhaps there's an idea that Faith maybe likes Christmas. And I also think this made me think about later why when Faith goes out in the snow, she's like, because Faith's from Boston. So most likely she comes from a place where it's very probably snowy and wintry at Christmas. There'd be lots of nice Christmas lights. So I think it was very subtly put in here that maybe Faith loves Christmas and she doesn't want to say no to Buffy, but because of their previous awkwardness, she does say no. That's why when she comes around later, I just love it.
Yeah, actually.
So much.
But I do get a little, no, I'll say it at the end.
No, do say it now in case it's relevant.
I do get the thing. It just feels a bit too, everything works out okay for everybody in the end, for me.
I guess that's what Christmas is all about.
We see Giles tasting some food and opening the door. We see him, he's cooking something. He's looking really good in his outfit as well. His outfit slaps.
Gen Z, how are you?
And then we hear his door going. He goes over to check. And Angel's standing there looking helpless and sexy. I think I call Angel sexy every single time I mention him. Because I just want to look like him. And he's asking for Giles' help. Because he wants to know why he came back. And Giles is just a fucking dick to him in this scene. With complete understanding.
I can't come in unless you invite me.
I'm aware of that.
And he invites him in. And I was like, that's really clever. He is a watcher. Of course, he's not going to invite a vampire into his house without having at least something to shoot at him. Even if the vampire's standing there with his wee sad face, it's still Angelus, potentially. And I think I love that Giles doesn't have the same relationship with Buffy. Doesn't have the same relationship with the Angels, Buffy, or even us as an audience. Giles is the person who murdered someone he was in love with. Angel explains that he is dreaming very vividly about his past, and it feels like he's almost reliving his past, and he needs to know why he is back. And Giles is great here. I just love, like, you can see that struggle within like Anthony Head's amazing at showing that he wants to be a real asshole, but he's still ultimately
compassionate
and empathetic, and he's still curious, I think, as well. There's that too. I think there's still the professional curiosity as why is Angel back? And you could sort of see him. I'd love that. You can see it all on Anthony Head's face, but we know Giles is going to help. We just know he's going to help, and I really like that. That is so true to his character. But it's also a class moment whenever Giles moves out of the way and Jenny Calendar's standing right behind him. In the same outfit that she died in.
Yes. Well done. I literally wrote the exact same thing. The reveal of Jenny behind Giles in the outfit she died in.
When we see Jenny Calendar, Angel absolutely shits himself. And this is where Giles is starting to be like, oh, wait, there is something going on with Angel. You can see that curiosity. And then Angel just like, and then leaves, storms out of the... The thing that Angel's not very good at is leaving a room without hitting into bits.
Yeah.
He bangs into the wall on his way out. There's later on he dives out the window and he smacks his head off the top of it and all.
He definitely has ADHD.
This guy. So anyway, what do you think about that scene with Angel and Giles?
Everything you've said, I've agreed with. I actually thought that whatever Giles was cooking, probably bet it tasted so good.
I think it did. Because you can hear it I could taste it.
There was like a sense. That's something I think Buffy's really good at, especially in this episode, and it must be down to Joss Whedon's direction. It's like, when I think about this episode, I don't think about watching it on TV. I felt like I was in it or something, and I feel like I felt Christmassy and I felt cool, and that's something I find that I don't often get with a lot of Christmas films or Christmas themes. It's all just like so fake Christmas, but there was it was in a subtle reality way. I felt very engrossed.
Do you think it's possible that I have never had a warm Christmas? I've only ever been in Christmas in Ireland, but you've had a Christmas in LA. So whenever you watch Christmas films, having lived in Ireland and had proper snowy Christmases and freezing cold -15s and all, when we had that really bad one about 13 years ago, I'm like...
And I also had Christmases in Kyrgyzstan where it was like -20.
Oh yeah, that's right. So do you think it would be like... Do you think whenever you're watching Christmas films, there's always that level of stagey? You can tell that it's fake snow, even though later on we see the fakest of fake snows. But like, I was okay with that because there's nothing they could do with that. I get that. But it's like, whereas I imagine that is what Christmas in LA feels like. You're going Christmas shopping with shorts and t-shirts on, or cargo pants and t-shirt on or whatever. And it's like, that's actually probably closer to, that was kind of what Christmas feels like. And they could have filmed that any time of the year because it's always warm in LA or always warm in California. So I thought...
Well, not always warm, because at that time of year, the weather does go down to in the high 70s or whatever, which for us, you feel the difference when you're in LA. So you would be wearing like a hoodie and trousers. We wouldn't in Northern Ireland. We'd be like wearing like full on coats and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you stay there and you're obviously acclimated to the weather, you feel the heat. However, we do... Are you surprised I know the word acclimated?
No, I just didn't expect you to say it so beautifully.
Oh, okay.
It rolled off your tongue like this, like Stephen Fry.
I've got a whole section about this, and I've also got Americans sending us some videos to talk about it as well. So when we get to it,
okay,
we'll talk a bit more about it.
So a sexy Angel is sleeping. I do actually describe him as sexy every time. And he's clearly having a nightmare because or a sex dream, but I think it's a nightmare. And at which point we kind of flash into his dream, which is in like a Victorian place in London, which we know is in London without any title cards because there's a background actor saying, "It's great to be back in London." Thank you. And again, this is where Joss Whedon's like talent is like the subtle small details. We go under the stairs of this beautiful Victorian house and we see Angel's cornering some servant maid
called Margaret,
trying to have his subtle way with her. We think he's trying to have sex, and the implication he's trying to have sex with her.
He's a vampire.
It is quite a wee gross moment, and it's weird that I find this more intimidating than I do when he's doing it with the guy, but it feels much more predatorial, I guess. And she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll stay quiet," or something, and his face turns, and his Angela's face is so gross and class looking. Do you know what I mean? It's very visceral. And then he immediately bites into her neck, kind of in front of everybody. I thought this is a bit like, wait, so this is a real thing? So you were just at a party and randomly just killed this person in front of everybody at the party?
Under the stairs.
Under the stairs, sorry, you're right. But then, as we see him biting in the neck, he's not quite finished. He looks up, and in his in the vampiric face, he looks frightened.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very good I didn't think that would be possible to portray. So he's doing something with his eyes to show that fear. And then we see Buffy standing there with her modern attire on in this past/dream. And both Angel and Buffy wake up. And then we cut to an ad break, which is something I was going to throw in here, folks. And I might ask people, I might see if we can get some sponsorships. Just because I would love us to do this more. And I'm wondering if we, because of the way we're doing, or we do the episode where I'm walking us through as we do the comments, that if we put the break where they put the break in, and we were to put a break in at this moment.
And before we go on to the next part, we have a quick word
from our sponsors.
Is your hole itchy, red, and scaly all the time? Well, so's mine, but now with E45.
Because I think we would do a good job of selling someone's product.
If we know people that have like local businesses that even for free, for like a month, we could do a couple of free adverts, just so people could see the way we would do them.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we could also reach out to Manscaped because we have beards. But Manscaped is great too because you can use it on your balls and it's got that protection where like it's all automatic, like don't cut yourself, all of that kind of. You can use it in the shower. It's like incredible. Oh, well, this is the advert for Manscaped.
Have you already been paid for the advert? Hey, Manscaped, we're going to do an advert for you right now. I have hairy balls.
Oh my god, ew, David!
And also, if you're struggling to find the Buffy episodes to watch online, you should just check out Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN for only $7.99 a month. You can turn your British Netflix into USA Netflix, and you can access brand new catalogs of entertainment that you just were not able to before.
Are you being sponsored?
No, but I'm just saying this is the kind of thing.
And now back to these dicks talking about Buffy.
And we're back.
I think these flashbacks are being really well executed, and they look really good. They don't look cheap at all.
I'm taking the piss about the Dublin thing, but like it looked great.
Yeah, it wasn't Dublin, but it still looked class. It was definitely like Whitechapel, where some prostitute was about to be murdered by Jack the Ripper. But that would actually be a great idea if Angel was Jack the Ripper. But anyway, Angel looks absolutely banging with a mustache and a mullet. I would take it so hard from all angles.
Your mistress will be wondering how to get the good Reverend Chalmers into bed and will not notice the absence of canapé.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, where Angel kind of cements himself as this like bitchy housewife just gossiping when he's like, mistress won't even notice because she'll be trying to seduce the father into bed. And I imagine him being a bit like Littlefinger.
Yeah, just that, or Machiavelli or something, just in the background.
Like,
just
Master of Whispers.
And Littlefinger is ours as well. It's quite funny. In real life, he's ours, isn't he?
Only Angel's big finger. There's quite a scary, horrendous part whenever he's about to bite the woman. She's like, my son. And he's like, we'll make a fine dessert.
Yeah, you're right. That was quite frightening. It felt like the son was going to be this secret thing that was. I felt, again, anytime they ever threw something out like that, what about my son? I'm like, oh, the son's going to come out and try and fight Angelus. And you know what I mean?
Oh, well, actually, in later, well, no, it's Oliver and Angel, but it's not related to this. But I love, well, they mentioned, she says, my son, and we get, oh my God, Angel says is going to kill the child. And then later on, when you have that man that Angel's obviously killed last year as a ghost saying, the way you arranged my kids in bed, I thought he would have taken the time to do that. So we see that Angel's actually a vicious child killer.
That, when we'll get to that when we get to that.
You mentioned about Angel looking afraid, and he has that big gay gasp, which I love. And that kind of shows me that, well, Angel is in the dream, because that's Angel that is that kind of shock. So it does go to show the nature of maybe like it's hard to not enjoy a dream like this when your true nature, your subconscious, is like reliving it. And I just love seeing them in each other's dream. Like her face was like WTF, XOX, Gossip Girl.
It's sort of like whenever like your partner walks in and sees you've having and sees what you're doing. It's like,
and it's just a video of her to you.
Yeah. After this scene, we see Angel getting ready and ghost calendar's there and is taunting the absolute tits out of him. And then when she touches him, turns into Daniel, who now has a perfectly Southern Irish accent.
I just want to show you who you are.
Thought this thing was great. This ghost thing, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I know it's giving you that Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, Future thing, but at this time I still had like, what is going on here?
I love that whatever it is still maintains like the kind of memory and personality, obviously, of the person.
Yeah.
Because I love we get the kind of sassy Jenny line when she's like, well, I want to die in bed surrounded by fat grandchildren, but I guess that's off the menu.
Yeah. And also saying kids and menu near Angel. That mean.
Oh, yeah. That's actually quite good.
Thanks.
And then when she says, I just want to show you who you are.
And then turns into fucking Irish Daniel. So we move on to the next scene. And we have one of what I'm now realizing is my least favorite tropes. It's becoming like one of the horror tropes where people run up the stairs or do the really stupid thing. Buffy goes to Giles to tell Giles that she had this dream. And she was like, this was real. And Giles like, no, you didn't. I'm like, why do you not believe her? It's been 40 odd episodes now, and every time she comes, you say something mental happens. You always go, no, it didn't, Buffy, you stupid blonde bitch. And she's always right. Maybe one time Buffy comes straight to him, is like, I had this dream and it felt real. And he goes, okay, we're going to have to look into this. But I hate that she's always having to convince. And then I was like, we're now 3 seasons in. She has killed her fucking love of her life, and then he came back to life. She killed the fucking master of all the fucking vampires. And yet... And when she had the dreams end, she tells you all these things all the time. He's always like, oh, Buffy, you're being such a silly bitch. Oh, halfway through, Buffy was right all along. Now, it doesn't take that long to convince him. But I just thought that's one of those things that really bugs me sometimes. Even Giles, I kind of get when Xander does it because he's a fucking asshole. But like, just like, fuck me, Giles. Anyway, Giles says he has seen him. And has also been looking, which is lovely. Yeah, he sort of placates her and says, well, okay, I have seen him. And he is starting to believe her at this point, I think. Because she sort of is convincing him. The whole point is even Buffy wants to know why he's been brought back. And I just wrote here, I just loved how class Giles is as a character. He murdered Jenny. He really loved Jenny. I'm not saying the love of his life. It wasn't like it was his wife for 50 years or something. Like, they just started dating and they were kind of together for a bit. That's it. But still, he murdered her, but he still wanted to help. And I kind of loved that. And then I went, oh my God, it's a Christmas miracle. Xander wants to help Angel too.
Where do we start?
I feel like for Xander, that this is Joss Whedon thinking that, like, I've just wrote this fucking belter of a redemption. The thing is, he does offer to help, and he does acknowledge at least that he hasn't been helpful before in the past.
Hasn't been helpful? Actively trying to kill him isn't not being helpful.
I know. But I mean, in Xander way, this is like the best you're almost like gonna get.
You've set up the characters right up for 40 odd episodes in a certain way, and they just suddenly change without any sort of Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, Future. No reason to be like, you should have done, like, there's nothing is pointed out to him to say, he's never had any responsibility or accountability for his actions.
Yeah.
Apart from earlier on the episode, Buffy goes, enough.
I think that's part of it. And I think also because that this is the Christmas episode and we know that he is dealing with his drunken family fighting, I think those little breadcrumbs maybe put together are enough for Xander to be like, for him in his world, for him to be like, you know, my friends, I really should try to just be a better friend. And I think this, for him, is almost like the best version that he can muster.
Doesn't work for me. Didn't believe it. I don't care.
I totally get it. But I do like the idea where then later we see Xander bringing in the pizza and like the drinks. And it's just like these wee small things that don't make him appear as selfish. But I think that the point of that is to kind of emphasize at Christmas, especially the point of like chosen family. Because they all come together in the library then, you know, to study and find out.
Well, as I'm about to say, we cut to this little part here where we have a static camera. And these are my favorite montages, where you have a static camera in a room and the actors have to act a time lapse, yeah. And then they get to do time moving on by like food, and then next thing the pizza's all half eaten and there's more pizza. Loved all that. I think that was a brilliant way to show them. And also I wrote here is like, we don't ever really get to see them properly researching. We see them at the start and when they find the thing, but we don't see the time in between. They tell us it's been a long time or it's been 7 hours or
Yeah.
I'm so tired, I just woke up and the book's on my face. But like, this is where we actually see them like, oh, they actually write stuff up on the board and like throw ideas out there. And like, I didn't know that's what they did. I actually thought that was really fascinating to see how, and you're sort of seeing how the gang communicate within each other as a group. Loved, weirdly, really talked a lot about this montage and I loved that that's going to.
And I think a lot of that was to pull us back to the point where of like they're rallying around Buffy because they know this matters, and now this kind of solidifies Angel being back as like part of the group.
So post montage, Willow is chatting about Oz coming over, and Buffy is showing that she is just always the best of the friends. She's such a fucking great friend, and she just gives Willow good advice.
Xander has a piece of you that Oz just can't touch. I guess now it's just about showing Oz that he comes first.
But I quite like the fact that even after all of this montage and this lovely conversation, they've no idea. They still don't know. They're still at a loss. At which point we do a hard cut to Angel falling on the ground exhausted.
The only other thing I had to say about that scene in Giles' office is that I love that he's got a, what's it called, poinsettia, the Christmas plant sitting behind him. It's like a red leaf plant that's a Christmas plant. It's called a poinsettia.
Poinsettia.
And there's a Christmas card and there's some biscuit tins. So I just imagined as if like, oh, someone from England has sent them like a wee Christmas package. I just thought that was a nice small touch like in the background.
That was nice.
And the other thing I mentioned was I did love the line, Xander has a piece of you that Oz just can't touch. I guess it's just about showing Oz that he comes first.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was just such a good, joking aside, was fucking brilliant. I thought that was so smart. That's such good advice to your friend.
Yeah. And I just love the idea of them all like being together, and the idea that regardless of their differences or what they think about things, it's Christmas time. They've come together, and this is like the chosen family, which I think is just lovely to see. Even if you don't buy it, I love it.
No, I buy them coming together. My only thing I don't buy is Xander's redemption, because Xander still helps even when he doesn't want to, and he does it with like dragging his feet. But it's just that it was him popping in first time. I just wish it was written a bit better.
Hard cut to Angel being slammed on the floor.
Mm.
And we see that the ghost is still taunting him, changing from victim to victim. And this is where we're starting to get more info on Angel being the most evil vampire that has ever existed. Of course, he's such an incredibly good person with a soul after all of that, because of how much of an evil vampire soulless Angelus is. So I just thought that was a really interesting thing. And then even then, the fact that the allegory of Angel in this at holiday going through depression, it was very, it read close to home to how I would communicate to myself about myself. Some of the things that were being said to him from the ghosts.
You could relate to what he was going through.
But not even that, if it's allegorical. To me, I was maybe reading a lot more into this than was being written, but I was like, Christmas is the worst time if you're going through any sort of breakup, or if you've lost a loved one, or if you're going through depression, because it's almost like you're supposed to be happy and yet you feel this despair. I know it's all about him and all this stuff, but I'm taking it as an allegory.
I don't think you're reading into it. I think it's it's very intentional.
That's intentional. Oh, cool. Because I think it's like the way those ghosts are prodding and provoking him is how my I don't want to speak for myself, how my thoughts have a way of like, if I drop something, you stupid fat cunt, which is insane. You're not a stupid fat cunt dropping something, you're just a bit clumsy. So it's like, and that's how I know I'm getting into a low period, because I'm being mean to myself. And then if I like fail at something, I will be dancing around in my head going, see, you're fucking terrible. See, you don't deserve it because you weren't a good person. You did that thing that time, so you don't deserve to do the thing. Throwing up these times that's of things that you would never do now, and maybe you've even apologized from a time that you did. And I know we're comparing him murdering family and kids and stuff, and I know it's not that, but it's like, I don't know. I just thought it was a really It was a really cool way to talk about
Yeah.
how depression looks and feels. It was actually one of the realest I've ever heard anyone show depression
Yeah.
on a TV show, because of that, like, because he was starting to believe it, and that was what was fascinating. And the only way he felt like he could get rid of the voices was, and we'll get into this a little bit later, was to commit suicide or kill himself. Folks, and I'm going to say this for everyone, I'm going to say the word suicide and kill himself and things like that. I have had experience of it in my life, not personally necessarily, or well, yes, personally, because one of my best friends has had experiences with it. But also I've had other parts of my life where I have known people who have attempted or wanted to or have whatever. So I think words are important. And we will put some stuff in here to say that if you are struggling, and I'm going to be sincere here, if you're struggling with your mental health, please reach out to anybody. You are loved.
We'll have a link to different resources. I'll also share vocally resources at the end of the show to contact if you're in trouble, but also trigger warning for people who are triggered by words like suicide, depression. You may want to
skip this episode.
Skip the rest of this episode. We couldn't naturally not say those words because we're not internet creators the way other people are. A lot. This is our real conversation about this episode, and it would be we wouldn't be able to use the right algorithmic words. And I do apologize actually if there are people who would prefer that. I apologize in advance that I can't do that, but that's just to be honest with you.
It's my and it's our experience. I like calling a spade because then it takes the power away from it.
Yeah.
But I just want to say at this point, from here on, it is going to come up at some point, and we're not going to go back and warn you. So if it is something you're not comfortable with, absolutely skip, move on. There will be an episode next week, and it's just some people are okay with it and some people aren't. It's the nature of being in a global world rather than a local community where So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Thank you, David. That makes perfect sense. The following content may contain references to suicide, self-harm, and depression.
I remember thinking they were like so still in their bed, and it wasn't until I bent down to kiss them and they were so cold that I thought, who would have went to like all the trouble to arrange them? Like someone who obviously took real joy in like planning the scene for him to find him like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't just for food.
Yeah.
It was for fun, and it was like that was so you could see the evilness. And then this is where we get Daniel from Ardoin all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Angel, what the fuck are you even talking about? He says something really Belfasty.
I was to be married that week.
So Angel says, a demon isn't a man. I was a man once. And the first / Jenny says, oh yes, and what a man you were. And we get that little comedic flash to him like having Christmas dinner with Witherspoons and like falling over in his chair.
I love that. That really made me laugh.
And he says, I never had the chance to. And she interjects by saying, die of syphilis. And I just wanted to interject a fun fact quickly, if that's okay, that Darla was saved by the master from dying from syphilis.
And then this is the sort of point, so obviously I didn't know what the ghost was doing. So at this point, I'm like, I think the ghost is wanting the evil, wanting Angelus back. And this is why he's been brought back. And I'm like, oh, right. He's been brought back by the devil, essentially, in my head. We know later on why he's been brought back by, and we'll get to it. So I know we already know it's the first, but I'm reading my script as I wrote it. See, before Angel and Jenny have chemistry. Like, their acting together is brilliant. Like,
there's something very sexual about the way the first uses the people it inhabits to, like, seduce.
It was just really good. And I'm assuming... Is the first the big bad of this season?
No.
What?
No.
Are you joking?
No, I'm being serious.
Wait, so we get this amazing concept and then it's fucking taken away from us? For now?
Until season 7.
Okay. But it was such a good villain. Back in the library, we see the sleepy Scoobies. And then this is where we get a little bit of editing skills where we see kind of Buffy and Angel moving.
Angel's asleep on a coffee table?
Oh, yeah, he is. And we see them, but yeah, I never noticed that. It's so strange. And then there's sort of matching movements, like turning onto their front and so on and so on. And then this is where we dive into their dream that they're both in together. Anything to say so far?
Just that I thought that the floor of the library and a coffee table was a really awkward place to have a sex dream.
And then this is where we cut into the dream. Angel and Buffy are getting absolutely hot and heavy in Buffy's dream bedroom. And this, in my opinion, right up until now, is probably the most adult and risque shot. I thought it would have cut before you'd have got there. And I was like, wow, that was brave. Because it made it more real. Do you know what I mean? It made that scene better by then.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel, for me anyway, intrusive. It felt like subtle.
It was nice for them to really address the actual sexual tension that exists between people that are attracted to each other and not just the big love.
Yes, me too. And then this sort of scene is cutting between them having sex and writhing in their dreaming about having sex together. And I thought it was just this felt very respectful. It felt very more about the two of them.
It's about the connection, and this sex happens to be a byproduct of the connection.
Yeah. So yeah, we're cutting back and forth between them, and then the weird eyes person, he has like some sort of runes cut into where their eyes should be.
Yeah.
Pops up in the dream, and then this is where Angel goes vampiric and bites Buffy, and I think that's the first time we see Angel bite Buffy in the show. Do we?
Yes.
It was quite visceral. I didn't think it was going to happen, and he actually bites her.
Did you notice the music was kind of like a Christmas lullaby version of the theme from Surprise and Innocence when they have sex for the first time?
That fucking geek.
So they wake up. Jenny explains that this is why he's back, to be Angelus again, to get the ride, and to kill Buffy.
Yeah.
Break. And then it cuts to the black break, this is a good episode for this. You would have been able to sell adverts very fucking easy for this episode back then, because people would have had to stick around and wait for that to come back.
Yeah, there would have been Durex in there, lube, like all day. Fiona's advert from Earthor for the Durex will be on.
You should pop that in there.
You should actually, that's great.
I can't help myself. I can't help myself. Oh.
She can't help herself.
Joss Whedon is great. He's obviously a great writer, but he's also disgusting, but very visceral in the imagery that he creates. Like when Jenny tells Angel to take Buffy, pour all of that guilt and frustration into her.
Angel actually uses something similar later on.
Yeah.
Lose myself in you, he says.
Yeah, like lose my soul in you.
But there was still something that...
I think that when he's talking about it, he's talking about comfort. And obviously when Jenny's talking about, I think that's purposely there for people to be able to make those comparisons.
It's a mirror. It's a mirrored...
Yes.
Yeah,
a mirror.
It's
a mirror.
No, a mirror. A mirror. That was really funny. Who sent in saying the mirror?
It was Sean. Sean O'Boyle, your best friend.
Oh no, fucking. Go ahead.
But whatever it is that Jenny claims to be, obviously it's the first, takes responsibility for bringing Angel back.
After the break, we get Giles explaining that the first evil is the only thing that has the power to bring him back, and then shows Buffy like these are the harbingers or the bringers of the first priests. I'm just calling them the first priests.
Yeah, you can call them the bringers.
The bringers, okay, the bringers.
You can't fight the first, Buffy. It's not a physical being.
Well, I can fight these priest guys.
If we can find him.
See, he's a good guy. See, he wants to help. See, he's a good guy. It's like, I think it's show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Stop making them pop up and be like, I'll help. It's like, why don't you just have them show?
But you know, sometimes when someone has been really annoying and they're overly trying to like really make like, I'll get that for you. I'll do, it's like if you've been like really unhelpful or something before, and then when you're in a relationship and you have a fight with someone and it's maybe been like, I don't think that when Martin would be like, you're not doing enough like housework or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, I need to hoover. I'll do it, and then I'll do the dishes, and then I'll do, it's like when you're trying to make an effort, it's like so much more annoyingly noticeable. I did want to ask you about something you just said there though. You said something about Giles saying that the first was the only thing that had the power to bring Angel back.
Is that not what he said in that scene? He's like, the only thing he could find that might have the power to bring him back would be the first evil.
Oh yeah, so okay. I don't know if I'll need to watch that part again just to get clarity on what he said.
Please do, and pop in here. Future Tony will say
it could have had the power to bring Angel back.
Well done, David. You were correct. The student has finally become the teacher.
I love that wee part at the start whenever Buffy's like, I had another dream with Angel in it, and Giles is like, what happened. I was like, imagine if Buffy was just like, Angel bucked me and it was class.
And then he bit me, and it was also class.
Yeah.
But then we're going to move on to my favorite scene in the whole episode.
Willie's.
This is my favorite scene in the whole episode.
You love Willie?
I do love Willie. It is my favorite. Willie is fucking so quick and so
hard,
genuine, and just immediately exists in that world without any effort whatsoever. And I think it's down to that actor. He's in loads of stuff too. I've seen him in. He used to be in Becker. He's in Becker, which is a Ted Danson TV show from like mid-noughties where he plays like a psychologist. And I feel like he's also like probably when he was a little boy going like, XG, read all about it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And sorry.
I think Chief Wiggum was like, break him away, toys.
Yeah, Chief Wiggum is exactly it.
It's the Slayer. What brings the Slayer down here?
Slayer's coming in. Slayer in the room.
Slayer's here.
A Slayer. And then they're just the casual people just getting up with very clearly vampire face.
Yeah, I love that.
That little detail was brilliant because it's showing that it isn't just Buffy just kills any vampire.
Yeah, I like that we're getting a third space. This is the third space for the demons in Sunnydale.
Yeah, that's a good. Oh, does it? Okay, I don't know if this continues, but
I think Willie pops in and out, and Buffy will go there every now and then for
Willie what? Sorry.
Oh, brilliant.
But I had a question. Aren't they 17?
Yes.
Are they allowed in a bar? I thought you weren't allowed to go to a bar in America until you're 21.
No, you're allowed in a bar, but you won't be able to buy alcohol. They'll put a red Sharpie X or a black Sharpie X normally on your hand.
Thank you. A genuine question, wasn't to be a dick. I was like, I thought that was. I know we can stay in a bar until 9 o'clock here at any age.
It's also like a little dive bar in a small town in an alleyway.
Buffy casually comes up to be like, hey, can you give us some information? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Xander from nowhere comes in to like immediately threaten him. And then Buffy, and there's a really, if you can find it, if it's not a pain in the hole, if you can get to the, there's a look that Buffy gives Xander that I happened to pause. That's if I could type it and I went back and she's just going like, it's just this look of like, what the fuck are you doing? And then
Aki's triangle.
Willie says something else, and then again Xander comes in and Buffy's like, maybe you just shouldn't talk. And I love that because, again, I'm like, I love when Xander comes in to threaten as if he's standing up for Buffy. And I'm like, why are you standing up for Buffy? She can she kills people for a free living, for a volunteer. She's
a murderer?
She's a murderer. She's a fucking murderer. And if you were to write Buffy from the perspective of vampires, she would be the master.
Have you seen the video of that guy? And he makes all these funny videos and it's like a fake Netflix documentary. And he's all different vampires being like, in the summer of 1999, like, this woman terrorized my community.
Buffy Summers took the life of 198 of my closest friends in the 1990s. This girl should have been in Glee Club, and instead, she was committing triple homicide, almost nightly. She is a serial killer. Blood on her hands and on her tube tops and her platform sandals.
Willie tells him with a little coaxing and bad intimidation from Xander that they're underground because the people who live underground, who aren't really scared of very much, are running away from the underground.
Underground where?
I do not know.
And as they're leaving, he turns around to Xander and goes, hey, I was scared. You did intimidate me. And then he goes, hey, kid, Merry Christmas. And I was like, oh, it's like Home Alone. It's like, he's almost like he's like a Team U,
Joe Pesci.
He's like a Team U Joe Pesci, yeah.
I love the idea that you're in this dark, dingy bar and he's like, Merry Christmas. And then they open the door and they're literally in the brightest, warmest day.
Oh, is that what
ever.
It is?
That's what I take it kind of as.
It didn't, I can see how that's a setup and a punchline now. I
feel like all the purposeful Christmas ramming down the throat is, again, to reiterate the fact that it's roasting in Sunnydale, and I think it's just meant to be. I don't think they're trying to like hammer home the Christmas spirit. I almost feel like Joss is making fun a bit of Christmas and the ludicrousness of like trying to get into that holiday spirit when you live somewhere that is like.
I disagree. I think he's genuinely landing for sincerity, and it's not.
See, I don't think so, because there's a couple of jokes, especially later when Buffy says nothing like a blistering fire to keep out the roaring heat. You know, it's like things like that where it's like they're showing you these two things that like don't go together.
I know, but then they still But then they do the smulchy thing. Oh, I think we're just going to disagree. I think we're going to have to agreeably disagree. I
Yeah.
think we just both get something from it differently than the other, and that's okay, folks.
Yeah,
That's
I also
okay.
watched it as a child.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
true.
I felt more of the Christmas.
Okay, fair. And you were watching it in the at the time of Christmas, probably. Well, maybe not.
Watching Christmas themed things when you're younger before you've become a disillusioned adult is different.
I have watched new Christmas films, and I have Paddington. I watched Paddington and cried my eyes out. It
That
took me
wasn't.
away.
I didn't mean you specifically.
Oh,
I
right,
mean
okay.
in general. I think it's hard to go back and watch.
Can't talk in
Christmas
general. I'm
things.
talking specifically about this episode. This didn't do it for me. Outside this bar, though, is probably the thing that pissed me off the most about Xander. And then this could be, but this is again based on Xander's behavior that I've experienced in this series so far. So nothing, I'm not even going to think outside of it. I'm just going based on the character that I've seen so far. Outside Xander and Buffy are wondering how to find the priests. And again, we get always commenting on the heat. I was like, is this Chekhov's thermometer? This is the moment where I'm like, wait, okay, so this is the third or fourth time I've talked about the heat. I'm like, and then this is where my brain goes. At this point, I was like, oh, are they bringing heat to Sunnydale? Is there something like, are they making it extra hot? Because why is everyone surprised this year that it's warm at Christmas? I'm assuming every year it's warm at Christmas. Is it extra warm this Christmas? This is what. Why are people? It's like they're acting like they've never had Christmas in Sunnydale before.
I think it's for viewers who
I know.
don't live in
I
California.
wish they did it better. That's just this. I understand. I just don't. Anyway, we're getting into one of those. I haven't had one of these. We haven't had one of these where we are completely in different places in a long time. I'm loving it.
Well, that makes one of us.
I'm enjoying it though. Maybe the viewers aren't enjoying it because we're just completely disagreeing with each other, which is good. Which is the point. It's okay. It's just a fucking TV show. All our opinions are valid. And also, this is to make another point as well. See how Tony and I are disagreeing? That's okay. So if you disagree with anything that we say, that's okay.
I think right now the best plan is to deck the halls with boughs of holly. Look, we'll catch the bad guys sooner or later.
And it feels flirtatious again. And I'm like, oh, so you've had Willow, you've had Cordelia, you've always wanted Buffy from the start anyway. We've known that he's been head over heels of Buffy. And I'm like, so you're going to... I just thought this was really inappropriate. So what do you think? Am I just being a little sensitive Sally and I should just...
No, but I think because you've been looking at Xander with an analytical eye because we do a podcast, that we are going to see so much more nuance in things that I don't even think Joss Whedon intended.
But then that's not fair then, because then you're going to start adding nuance and things that... sorry, now I'm assuming your behaviors, but we do it all the time.
But even if I do, everything that I express here is just my opinion of how I view the show.
Of course.
So even if I'm taking a lot of the way I watched it when I was younger, so therefore blah, blah, blah. And the way I watch it now is I don't automatically pick up on a lot of the things that, for example, like one of the things I've talked with like Sarah about like this week is that I've like watching it with you for the first time and seeing your first time experiencing Xander through a 2025 lens is really interesting, having that be someone's first experience, because I don't remember thinking about any of this when I was like 14, 15. But that's also because I didn't have any of that experience. So that's why I love that like it's different. However, I think once you open that door, you can't really close it again in a good way. Now, the way we are with people in real life, you can only judge people by their behavior that you see, and you just have a way broader scope going into a first time watch of behavior than maybe what I did when I was like 11. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. I do, however, think that Xander's behavior is wrong, but I think it's not intentional. I think it's because Joss is a dick that he's wrote him like this, thinking he's cool.
Good. Then I am taking, regardless, I wonder sometimes, is it a straight gay thing? Because I've probably parts of Xander I'm recognizing that I have done. Do you know what I mean? In my teenage years, to try to sleep with girls or have girls fancy me, or to like, and maybe that's why I'm getting a bit angry and being angry at myself. Everyone's a mirror, so I'm not. And
we've both been teenage boys at some point.
Yeah.
We both can like see that like his behavior isn't Okay.
But it's just, I'm not, and I stopped and I was like, right. And it was immediately as they stepped outside, they were apart like this, and then he just takes a step closer.
Like, why did he have to touch her shoulder? Like, there were things like that I picked up on that I wouldn't have picked up on before.
And I've seen him do that previously to people that he has made out with, and he does it with Willow multiple times, and it's a very similar action. And I'm wondering, is this a subconscious thing that's being put in? Like,
the thing is, it was directed by Joss Whedon as well.
I know.
So therefore, you're getting a double whammy of like, if Joss would have been like, move in closer, touch her shoulder,
be a better friend. I'm like, but Xander, so that's just, it just felt like he was flirting with her again.
I wouldn't have ever picked up on that watching it when I was younger.
Would you have picked up on it when you were younger if you were 16 watching for the first time? Because you said 11 and you weren't a teenager and you weren't.
I was 12 in 1998.
Okay, so 12, whatever. But like, prepubescent you were?
No, I wouldn't have thought about it. I wouldn't have thought about it as much. But I also was like a 12-year-old boy that maybe wouldn't have known that those kind of behaviors were slightly predatory towards women.
Fair. And it may not have been then.
He was a funny, typical teenager that was the way it felt watching it. Yes, he was a bit of a dick and he was cheeky to Buffy sometimes, but that's not what it felt like through a 1998 lens.
Fair. This next scene though.
It's funny.
Laugh out loud funny. I laughed out loud because of just Alison Hannigan in this scene is just comedy gold. So we open with Willow sitting in front of we see Oz come in with 2 tapes, videotapes, old school alert, videotapes going like, hey Willow, I got the tape, and he stops, and then we turn around and we see one of like the way a bachelor in 1960 would invite a lady into the room. It's so like when someone who doesn't know how to be sexy tries to be sexy, and they're too young to know what sexy really is because they haven't really figured their own bodies out. But all of this was all being done just so subtly with Alison Hannigan as Willow, and I thought as Willow, we all know who she is. And then when Oz does come and sit down very uncomfortably and not even right next to her, we go straight into some Barry White.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love Barry White. And it reminded
yeah.
What TV show do you think of when you think of Barry White? My first, my last, my everything.
I think of Charlie's Angels for some reason.
Ally McBeal. He's in all over Ally McBeal. The Dancing Baby is a Barry White song. And I think it is that song that they're playing.
I thought the Dancing Baby was Ooga Chaka, Ooga, Ooga, Ooga.
Oh, you're right, it is.
I can't stop. But Barry White is in Ally McBeal loads.
Yeah. So we get the boom, and Barry White coming in, and the thing that I love the most is they have Sprite on ice
in a champagne
thing, and I love that little detail. And then I just said, "Fuck, I love Oz so much," and I think that's, and then I'm like, sometimes is this a dichotomy between Oz and Xander, that this is how really you should be communicating with someone, and this creep.
Well, that makes me wonder about then if Joss can write someone like Oz and he admits that he's more like Xander, why wouldn't you? Well, this is it. He obviously realized that by choosing to be the good guy, he never got what he wanted. But now that he had this power in life, but the thing is, he writes Xander as if Xander's someone who's got power, and the thing is, he doesn't, and that doesn't relate. Joss is now like a creator of a TV show that could abuse his power to do whatever he wanted. And Oz is almost like the version of himself that Joss really should have actually tried to have been.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was dead too.
That was really good. Will explains that she wants it to be special, and then he goes, "How special are we talking?" And the way he delivers that line with such, again, he's so funny. It's comedic and but gentle.
Between the both of them too, like when she's like, "We could do that thing."
Yeah, and it's just this. And it's a proper laugh out loud moment there. And Willow says she wants Oz to be her first.
When it happens, I want it to be because we both need it to, for the same reason. You don't have to prove anything to me.
And when he says to her, like, you you have nothing to prove. I just thought it was such a healthy way for a man to address like forgiveness within infidelity. And it just makes me wonder how someone like Joss Whedon could write that. But anyway, let's not get lost in the
Yeah,
Xander sauce.
I know I'm not. So we cut to Joyce in the next scene, and she's lit a fire, and I'm wondering, did you not all say it was warm already? This is before I heard Buffy's line. Why is everyone lighting fires? Because Willow had a fire lit. And Buffy also comments on this, which I thought was quite funny. It's like, what did you said the line earlier on?
Nothing like a roaring fire to keep away the blistering heat.
Which I thought was a very funny line. And then there's a little wee moment that's similar to the Jad saying, what was your dream about? Joyce is like, angel on top. And she's like, sorry? It's like angel or star on top. And it was like, I loved that. It was very, very funny because, sex.
I was like, I wish.
And then we get Faith at the door. And like, it's very sweet.
Hey. Hi.
Looked like that whole party thing was going to be kind of a drag. I didn't really have anything,
I'm glad you came.
Here.
Why don't you come in from the entire lack of cold?
Yeah, she comes in. She's got some lovely gifts that have been wrapped up, cleared in newspaper. It looks like it's a pencil.
They're crappy.
And the Bible that's probably in the thing. What's that called? That Bible that goes in hotel rooms.
The Gideon Bible. The most stolen book in the world.
Oh.
Isn't that an interesting fact?
That is interesting. That's a really good one. Buffy heads upstairs to get the gifts. And when she goes in, Angel's in the room and slams the door. And he's in there in that like hazy state. And again, he does such a good job. Absolutely, acting chops are doing really well because he goes in. You could see his face wavering from like lust to fear and longing to like love and just and it's all show don't tell. It's fucking brilliant.
He's running the gamut of emotions in his face. Like it's very, very well done.
Yeah,
David.
and
Very
you
well
can
done.
see Buffy and the tears in her eyes, just like I've been here before. Like she's seen this sort of happen. And then he keeps looking at her neck and at her. Why is she not wearing a cross?
Because she's just wearing a Christmas necklace.
Does she not wear his cross anymore?
No, not really.
Interesting.
I think maybe since they broke up, she hasn't been wearing it.
Interesting.
Well, since she killed him.
Oh, since they broke up. Via death. Till death to his part. Okay. You're parted. And it was just, and I like, actually, you don't often get POV in Buffy, I think. So it was very interesting being able to see that.
Like, just focused on this. That was one of the standout direction points, I think, of this episode.
Because it wasn't leery. It didn't feel sexual leeriness. It was
it felt dangerous.
Hunger. And, like, you could see it was the neck and that. Yeah, you could tell them it was very, very good. And the fact that they kept cutting back to it and back and him looking up and down, I thought it was directorially was brilliant.
There was that one moment where it looks to the bed, and because you could see him think, it was almost like seeing his thought process, like, okay, if I have sex with her, then I'll bite her. And the one thing I was going to ask, if you thought about that bed, the way it went to the bed, I never really thought about. Obviously, they're implying maybe Buffy and Angel have sex, lose his soul, but I never really thought about the implication of if Angel were to, like, I think they're set, like, making a sort of rape thing, like, and I didn't think about it until Jenny was like, just take her.
Oh, I never thought.
And it made it a bit darker for me when I was thinking about it, like, he just will take Buffy and lose his soul in her, and then he's going to kill her, and it just felt really, really dark.
There is an element of that. I didn't pick it up, but you're right, I think it is there. I don't think you're wrong in saying that. You can see there is a moment within this hazy part where he's like, and you can see that he's getting caught up in his thought with the ghosts. With the ghost is working this, the first is doing its thing, and then he just sort of gets enough power. He kind of gets in his head again properly to know where he is, to realize that Buffy is in danger with him being there in that state. And he just like screams really loud. What does he scream?
Leave me alone!
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Is there anything I can do to help? And he's like, leave me alone!
Leave me alone!
And then he dives out the window. And I love that his feet smack off the window on his way out. And I'm like, he's so bad at leaving rooms. He's so bad at it. And then I was going to be a wee dick and like, did no one hear Buffy scream? But then we cut that Buffy throwing on a coat on her way out the door, telling Faith I have to go.
Yeah, I'll play watchdog. I don't really get it, though. I'll explain later. Everything, I promise. Watch your back.
I think she says, I need you to stay here in case he comes back, knowing that Faith is the only other one that can protect him.
I feel like Faith is like, no, I want to go do the fighting anyway. But maybe Christmas time, and this is like you're saying, maybe this is us going like Faith is being protected. I don't care. I'm gonna let go of the Faith thing. I can just let that happen.
She's made the effort to come back, so it's almost like she's constantly having to choose, and that's something I like subconsciously thinking about Faith. Being good is a choice, as a constant choice
big time.
for Faith.
We cut to the next scene and we see Angel's coming back into wherever it is that he's living, in that beautiful mansion that no one seems to live in. And he tells Jenny, I won't touch her, and that he'll kill himself if he needs to. And then I ask the question here, are they trying to kill Angel or bring back Angelus? ... So I'm even asking the question as I go along. I'm not too sure if do they want him to die or not.
And I think you're also not really meant to fully know yet.
I still don't.
Sooner or later, you will drink her.
I'll never hurt her.
You were born to hurt her. Have you learned nothing? As long as you are alive.
And I'll die.
You don't have the strength to kill yourself.
I don't need strength. I just need the sun to rise.
But one of the things that hit me strong first was that he's not killing himself because he's weak and doesn't want to go through this. It's almost like this is what I felt really strongly about when it comes to things like suicide, is that like he thinks the best thing for everyone else will be for him to remove himself. And I love this idea of the first almost being like the evil within. And it's almost like it is such a great allegory, like for depression. That it's like you are your own worst enemy, literally.
So yeah, in the next scene we see Giles and Buffy scrambling for ideas and win the line, nothing shall grow above or below. And then we're like, I was like, very good, Joss. I did not catch on to Chekhov's. I forgot about Chekhov's Christmas tree.
Christmas tree.
And then I was like, oh my way. And I love it. One of my favorite things that I like, and Joss Whedon's very good at this, is, and I did say Joss there, but my soft S is making it sound like Josh. That's like Josh. That's it, Joss. And Joss. If I could do the rest of the podcast with a lisp if I wanted to.
So could I if I really wanted to also.
You do have a lisp because you're gay. All gay people have lisps. No, don't, sweetheart.
You have a lisp because you have a gap-toothed bitch. Gabrielle.
And did you see Buffy doing that? Very good.
Sorry.
No, I love that. Buffy kicks up in the Christmas tree place and is wearing a coat. It's not warm. You're not complaining how warm it was. That's just, and it's a winter coat. It's like a duffel
but
coat.
It's starting to get cold, obviously.
Finds the. I am not happy with the end of this TV show. Finds the trees and then she grabs an axe and starts beating her way into the underground bit, which I thought was good. It wasn't just very easy to hit through it. Sometimes Buffy can just do like a it just goes through. I quite like that she had to beat it a couple of times. We get to the underground bit and we see that the 3 priests are still doing their like if you could do that with your hands and doing that.
Yeah. So
eating what?
Eating my pussy, bitch.
I knew you were gonna say that. And she just immediately, like, I thought she was going to just cut their head off, but she hits him with the back of the axe, which I appreciate. Because I was like, sure, that axe would have went through, and then I looked, and I was like, oh no, it was the back of the axe, cool. And then she thumps it and hits it with the other side of it, and I thought that was this is all a really good little fight scene bit. And then when she goes
she also does something that we haven't had in so long, which is like a classic Buffy quip.
Oh, give me the quips. I forgot about those. They were brilliant.
The first thing she says is,
all right, 10 more minutes of chanting, and then you guys have to go to bed.
When we see the 3rd priest run away, Buffy comes face to face with Jenny Calendar all of a sudden in front of her. So I think the 3rd priest got away, and this is now just the big evil, or the first, standing in front of her in the in the guise of Jenny,
Mhm.
and still in the same outfit that she died in, which makes me think, does the evil have access to the people or some sort of knowledge of what they looked like when they died or something? But because even the
Well,
guy in this suit is in like,
it's the evil that exists in everyone.
yeah, oh yeah,
So
okay, yeah,
it
so
can take the form of any dead person.
interesting. But it's interesting that it's in only the outfit that they died in. Seems to be because even the maid was in the same outfit.
Yeah.
The guy was in the same outfit, and then the guy in the suit, which I love. That's good. It should be like that because that's all it's known as.
Well, interesting, in season 7, it does take the form. It has different outfits on, however, because it takes the form of Buffy loads.
Oh, okay. Oh
Because
yeah,
obviously
no, but
Buffy's now back alive and changes her outfit, so I wonder if she can access. It's like Clueless now that she's back alive. She's like, what'll I wear today?
yeah. I don't, but it's not a big deal. It's not. I don't. It was just a very small thing.
I'm not a demon, little girl. I am something that you can't even conceive.
And they go back and forth with each other, and Buffy is saucy and
Yeah.
sarky, and funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Because she's so many killer little lines, and she's just, and the thing that I love, I'm going to say this a little bit, and then you're going to tell me exactly all the stuff you're going to say. And the thing I love the most is that she's still a wee dicky teenager.
Yeah.
You know, like you say something to a teenager in the bus, and they just go like, whatever, go take your fucking face for a shite. You're like, you
Yeah.
cheeky little boss. And it's just the confidence of youth only exists until you're really that 18, 19. That arrogance of like, I don't even know. And then the first evil fucks off and says he'll be dead by sunrise. Dead by sunrise. Really loud.
Dead by sunrise.
That there one, yeah. So give me the quips though.
Okay, so well, Jenny's giving her big mad speech where she's like, I am something you can't conceive of, little girl. I'm sorry, I'm definitely going to cut in a clip here. There's a clip of Real Housewives when one woman says to the little girl,
Little girl.
she says, you can't conceive of, I am like the thought that exists in everyone's minds. I'm the sin, blah, 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 blah. And then Buffy's like, all right, I get it. You're evil. Do we have to chat about it all day?
And then
later when she's like, I am blah, 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 blah. And Buffy's like, let me guess, evil?
That proper laughed. I proper laughed at that because I didn't know it. It's just, yeah, it was very, very, very funny. And then this is where Buffy runs into Angel's house. Then she's like running up this hill. I never noticed the O.
I always thought it was funny that you're such a Belfast EU. We're like,
So I watched this scene.
Yep.
This scene, and can we go through it together a little bit? So, because I don't have necessary notes, I'm just going from memory now at this point.
Yes. But I do also want, I am also happy if you want to put out your fully fleshed thought and then I can speak, or I can speak and you can think about your thoughts, or I'm just worried if we go back and forward, it'll be like, I'm trying to convince you about mine.
Good
And
point.
I
Okay.
don't want to do that.
My impression of the ending was, and I've had there's some very interesting things that are being said. I don't have any notes here, so I'm just going off what I can remember. Buffy's like basically telling Angel to get back inside. We've only got a couple of minutes before sunrise. You need to get back inside. You need to get back inside before you die. And she is pleading and begging with him. And there's like and he's just like, his worth is gone completely. All of the bad things he's done is just ruminating around his head. None of the good things he's ever done in his life is there at all. And it's just like, he is just done. When she says you're a coward, you're selfish or whatever, she's getting that thing that people say to people who are going through suicidal tendencies. It's like, and I think it's good that she says those things because that is what someone who's on the other side of it, who has experience in those, is experiencing. That like, you're hurting me. You doing this is hurting me. And why don't you fight for me? Why don't you stay alive for me? This is kind of all what I feel like what she's saying to him, and even trying to like challenge him by calling him a coward and explaining to him like fighting is what you do, not giving up, and that's why we continue on. And then you can see like, and this is, I wonder, did I miss something or did I fucking fall asleep or have a stroke? She's like crying for him to go back inside, and it's like, why won't you do it? And then it just starts snowing, and then everything's okay, and then that's it. Then they just go back down, and I was like, because it snowed? That's my impression. It snowed, and then Angel went, oh, You're right. I'll not kill myself. Now, I understand that we get a cut to one of the things it just does is where we cut to a news bulletin where, like, weirdly in Southern California, where we're having a balmy 73, everywhere else we have this cold snap on Sunnydale where it's snowing for the first time, well, ever. And I'm just like, okay. So I did have this thought where I'm like, is there an actual battle here between the above and the below? And has the angel been sent back via the devil or the first evil to become Angelus to get rid of Buffy? Or has the angel been pulled out by something of a higher power to be angel on earth because he is still a poignant thing, and the devil is trying to do the thing that the devil does, which is to manipulate the person into killing themselves? And it's like, it feels like, okay, there's a miracle, and there it is there, and and I'm not even saying that miracles can't happen. I'm not even saying, and it's not annoying. It's interesting that we still haven't had anything, even though we're fully invested that vampires exist and ghosts exist, and we're into nearly halfway through season 3, we know that ghosts exist, first evils exist, vampires exist, all the demons exist. Why have we not seen anything good? No angels, no holy stuff, no things that come from down from heaven, unless it's because we're the people. But
this is the first time. Well, first of all, I love that this outdoor location is an actual outdoor location and not just a set, which I think just added to like the weight of the scene. Angel has that line where he says, "I want to take comfort in you, and I know it'll cost me my soul, and a part of me doesn't care," followed by a really great line where he says, "It's not the demon in me that needs killing, Buffy, it's the man." So Buffy's plea to Angel, I think, is like the most vulnerable like we've ever seen her. Like in this moment, it's like she's not really just the Slayer. She's someone who refuses to lose someone that she loves to despair. And like I said, like you said, that's like they're trying to show maybe that parallel of how someone who has depression or suicidal thoughts, how that affects other people around them. But also sometimes how selfish it can make people be when it's not that, when it's, by saying, you're doing this to me, you're doing this to me. And it's not always, about thinking about the person. But Buffy's just so desperate. She just doesn't want Angel to die. And then Angel, when he pushes her to the ground and grabs her, he's quite like kind of violent and she's like crying. And he's like, am I a thing worth saving? Am I a righteous man? And like the world wants me gone. And then Buffy asks like while she's crying, it's like, what about me? It's like, and then obviously we just have this incredible scene with Sarah where she's like, you think I don't know everything, but it's like, but I do know everything that you did because you did it to me. And this whole part, obviously, this whole kind of...
Agreed.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying right now, I couldn't agree with you 110 million% more. I sent you pictures of me tearing up for reasons that you know.
At this point, this is just where I wanted to interject about like the theme of depression and suicidal ideation. This is one of like the earliest moments, I think, in the show where it directly portrays intrusive thoughts, self-loathing, and feelings of being unworthy of love, and the sensation of being better off gone. Even though it's done with supernatural imagery, the underlying emotional truth is very human, and that's one of the strengths of Buffy in general. And this is one of the darkest emotional storylines that Buffy ever did, and for the first time they're showing us that Angel's guilt isn't just his aesthetic, that it's suffocating. Amends treats mental health with a surprising compassion, I think, for like a 90s supernatural teen show. As Buffy starts saying, if I can't convince you, then it starts to snow. We get this score, the Christoph Beck score is called Magic Snow Music, which makes me think he recorded this and forgot to rename the file afterwards. And it is a bit rushed in terms of the ending, but I think the message they're trying to convey, even if they haven't done it very well, is that there are things that happen in the Buffyverse that are destiny, and not all supernatural events are demonic. And this is they use this idea of a miracle without explanation, basically, to make you want to make you still kind of wonder without really explaining fully yet why is Angel back. And a lot of this is to serve as a backdoor pilot into Angel the show, because it really kind of sets up these issues of Angel confronting his past, his guilt being treated as like an ongoing heavy and complicated thing, the idea of there being a divine or universe driven connection for him to exist, and that his internal battle is really the heart of his character. So a lot of those things for Angel's character are like established without full explanation yet. The idea of like fate versus free will, like the first evil tells Angel that he has no choice. Buffy tells him that he does, and then we have that miracle of snow suggesting that perhaps there is something out there looking after Angel because the sun's not going to rise, he's not going to die. And I think it's like establishing that there is some sort of higher power working against the first evil.
And my issue isn't even miracles and higher power, but we have had absolutely zero acknowledgement of any of that before. There's no, and I told you even as we got to this, I even can read how, oh right, is this some God miracle? Because it's all about how the sun will come up. So someone didn't want Angel to die very specifically in that area. There's a bit of it was hoping there was a witch or a thing that was doing a thing, but I'm like, okay, so genuinely must be a higher power. But it's the fact that he's taken the piss out of miracles and Christmas the whole way through and shitting all over it and then using it to conclude a suicide attempt. And I find it just completely weak shit.
I saw I see the big miracle and I love the idea that I love the idea of a miracle being the only thing that could stop. Like Buffy couldn't do it. So a miracle was the only thing that could have like stopped. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just telling you my process of like how my brain takes it. And but I loved it. Like I loved
That's it. I understand that's what they're saying, and I fucking hate it. It's lazy for me personally. It's lazy. It's a cop out. Even throughout it, I just kept. I don't. But like I enjoyed it as an episode,
Yeah.
and like I get Joss Whedon can write like fuck, but I just felt the heart of it was just like it didn't land for me. That's it. And the question I'm going to ask is to our viewers and listeners. I just actually want to know, is anyone else, do you think, am I just completely off my fucking tits right now? Because you are great at commenting going, I love hearing Dave crash out at this, crash out at that. And this isn't quite the same. I am probably crashing out right now. I don't really understand that term. But I'm like, am I the only one that's really annoyed about this? And if I am, then class. And I know it is actually just, it's personal for me. This is where I'm asking the audience. Let me know.
If you love this ending, please comment below and let us know why.
No, if you love the ending, don't even tell us why. If you love the ending, I get it.
No,
like,
do tell us why, because I think
okay.
it would be good to understand. Like, because I'm the only reason I love the ending is because I love the idea of a miracle, and I know for me that's very related to my own spirituality and stuff. So I know for me what makes it personal. You know for you why it doesn't work.
But it's just it's unearned. We've never had a miracle before, so why do they think this is a miracle? And
I know, but what I'm telling you is for me that structure works fine for me.
That's fine. You like that? I hated that.
I think it's important too if people have this conversation below or in the comments or whatever, that the way we can talk and have a respectful conversation of completely different points that people can remember to please try and keep it that way. I don't want to like have people fighting in the comments either. So I hope that they can look at the way we talk about it with like respect and love, and hopefully that's all we would really like to see in the comments. Obviously I can't control what anyone writes, but with all that said, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available and you can contact support services such as the Samaritans. The Samaritans have a free 24/7 helpline. In the UK, it's 116 123, or you can email thesamaritans.org. There is also an organization called CAM, Campaign Against Living Miserably, provides support service for men specifically who are struggling or in crisis, and you can call 0800 58 5858 from 5 p.m. to midnight every night. These are UK based, and that's why I recommend people to kind of Google nationally, depending on the area that they're in. If you Google support services for people in crisis, you'll be able to find multiple resources.
Sorry if this got a little bit tetchy there. Sorry, Tony, if I was getting a little bit tetchy there at the end. I'm going to apologize to you, my love. And
That's okay.
Thank you so much for watching the podcast and listening. As always, my lovely friends, I will wind my neck in and be a bit happier for next week's, and probably hopefully less angry. This just
can't guarantee that.
I actually can't guarantee that because I have no idea what's coming up next.
I will also be doing a kind of shallow dive over on our Patreon with this episode, as we reference it being Angel episode 0, and we'll talk how that leads into Angel the series, as well as talking about the themes of chosen family, depression, and suicide. And they will trigger warning for anyone who's in our Patreon. I'll be talking about personal things, but we think it's, I'm happy enough to talk about things if it helps anyone at all. Because maybe one of the things people won't think of, the reason why I'm dressed up Christmassy, is that Christmas is a hard time for a lot of people. And it's a brilliant time for a lot of other people too. For example, I'm a big Christmas lover, but I don't really have a choice but to be by myself for Christmas. And that's something that I've like made the best of. So I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite kind of Christmas stories or little things that you can do when you're away from home to help keep yourself in that spirit if you're so inclined. And that'll be on our Patreon, All Bronze No Brains. And click everything, like everything, and give someone a hug and go
Yeah.
about your day and just be nice.
Yeah.
Just fucking be nice,
fucking
dickhead.
nice. Will you, dickhead? Just be fucking
Yeah.
nice. You prick.
Fuck off, prickhole. Prickhole.
A prickhole? Is that what the dickhead is?
Oh my god, yeah, prickhole. Yeah. Right, shall I stop this one?
Should I stop doing this?
No.